Hi everyone! So I'm back to do my labor and delivery story. It's about time to tell you guys how it all went down, because my labor and delivery video, I couldn't record at all. So let's get started. First, sorry for the noise outside, and sorry I will never get a decent video yet, just because this kid is clingy. See? He's asleep. He's gonna be 8 weeks on Thursday. So yeah, we'll just start off with saying I was at 40 weeks and 1 day, and this was on March 16th. I was scheduled for a non-stress test, and it was at 8:30 in the morning because I wanted the earliest, just so my husband could sleep since he works graveyard shifts. So we went to my appointment. Everything is fine until I went to my ultrasound. The lady was trying to catch to see if baby was practicing his breathing, and he wasn't. So she was a little concerned, so she told the doctor, and the doctor basically said, your baby's not breathing. I need you to go to the hospital. They need to monitor you now. They need to monitor baby, and you need to have baby. And so I was kind of confused, like, okay. So I was like, so do I have to go to the hospital today? And he's like, yeah, you need to go to the hospital today. You need to have baby today. You failed your test. And I was like, oh, okay. So we get out of the doctor's appointment. It was like 9 something. Me and my husband, like, we're like, oh wow, unexpected. So we had an unexpected induction date we did not schedule. Went home, grabbed my hospital bag, got the kids from school, dropped them off to a friend's house, went to the hospital, all this, and we got to the hospital around like 11:40. I did not have breakfast. Hubby did not have breakfast. We were starving. He was tired, dead tired. So finally get into the waiting room, the inside where they check you and all this stuff. Then it was like 12 o'clock. I was at 4 centimeters, so I was technically in early labor for about 4 days when I had contractions consistently for a little bit, and then they stopped because I was already dilating. They got the IV in. IV hurts like heck. The lady somehow, I don't know how she did it, but she pulled my skin so bad, the back of my hand. It hurts. It was horrible. So I asked her, can I eat? She was like, no, I'm sorry, and because we have to, we have the IV in and stuff like that. And she was just like, we have to wait for a room now, we finish all your paperwork, blah blah blah. I was so mad, starving, because we did not get a room until 4 o'clock. I was pissed. It's 4 p.m. I did not eat. She should at least like be like, oh fine, you can eat. They're taking longer than expected. Finally get to the room. Everything's situated. Husband is fast asleep still. He's like exhausted. I'm in pain, having contractions, and they were not consistent at all. Like, not at all. They were there, but they would be like from 5 minutes apart, changing to 3 minutes apart, changing to 2 minutes apart, changing to 5 minutes apart. It was just crazy. And so my midwife came. My doctor didn't come. I don't know why. It was on like a Wednesday or whatever day it was. So I had a midwife, and she came and checked me. She was like, oh yeah, your baby's low. I feel his head, and pretty much I'm thinning. I'm thin, way thin, and still 4 centimeter dilated. She's like, yeah, you should have him at like 12 o'clock in the morning before I leave. I'm pretty sure. I know it. She was like positive. I was just like doubting it, like, oh, okay, if you say so. I was like, I hope so. I told her I hope so, because like I was just like, I do not want to be in labor forever. So I was just like going through pain and pain. I think she checked back around 6 o'clock or something, and she was just like, did you want me to break your water? And I was like, no, because being a Pitocin, it hurts, and breaking my water is gonna hurt way more. And she's like, okay, I understand, just feel your body, whatever you need to do. She was the nicest midwife ever, because I hear stories where they don't even care and they just like pop your water, and like, they don't ask you if that's okay. Like, she asked me, and I was like, thank goodness, because I was freaking out. So I told him, like, I want to do natural, but if it doesn't work out, I'm in too much pain, I'll do the epidural. So 8 o'clock rolls in, she come check me again. I was only 5 to 6 centimeters. So it took me like 4 hours to just barely go up 2 centimeters. I was like dying. I was so scared that this was going to take a long time. I don't know if I can do it naturally. So I waited out for 10 minutes. The nurse was like, you sure you don't want the epidural? I was like, I'm gonna wait it out and see how long I can. 10 minutes go by. My husband is asleep, and I did not have any, like back rubs or anything, that I was going through it alone. And it hurt way too much, and I was like, if it took me 4 hours to get to 2 centimeters more, I don't know how much longer it's gonna get me to 10. So I was freaking out, so in so much pain. So I was just like, I told the nurse, I can't do it anymore, I'm gonna take the epidural. They called the anesthesiologist. He came in 5 minutes or so. They were prepping everything, and he talked me through it. He was really nice. He was talking throughout the whole entire thing, but he did it really well. My second time with the epidural did not go so well, so that's why I was scared to do the epidural this time. But I was like praying, like, oh, please, Heavenly Father, let this go well. I don't want anything messed up. So I woke up husband, be like, hey, epidural time, I'm in pain, you need to get up. He ate a little bit and then he went to sleep. So yeah, everything felt so much better after epidural. I could finally sleep, and so all I felt was just pressure. I laid on my back. They have a little drip bag, and so I was sleeping. It was like 10 something, like 10:20 or something. My nurse came back, my midwife, and she was like, okay, let me check you. And she checked me. I guess she was just like telling them I was like there 10 centimeters, but really not telling me. She was kind of like a little talking, I don't know what she was saying, but kind of like, yeah, like medical terms to the other midwives, because I had 2 midwives, and cause one's like doing their I don't know, what is it, rounds or something. And so they're like, she's like, okay, I'm gonna pop your water, is that okay? And I was like, yeah, that's okay, because she was like, she's there, she's there. And I was like, okay. So she was like, but I'm just gonna check you first before I pop your water. She goes in there, and I kid you not, like, she said she was just rubbing, checking, and my water burst. Like, it popped, like water squirted out, and like TMI, but that's what happened. And it almost got on her face. Like, oh my gosh, I was just like, holy crap. I was like, oh my god, I did not expect that. She's like, me neither. And so she's like, well, I don't need the stick to poke your water. She's like, I don't need this anymore. And I was like, no, you don't. And so, kid you not, as soon as she popped, the water popped, the epidural slowly, like, not slowly, but suddenly wore off. But I still had enough to like not feel the contraction so bad. I kid you not, they were prepping everything. I felt his head coming down. I was like trying so hard not to push, but his head was like slowly coming down. As soon as that water popped, his head was like coming down by itself with contractions. And I was just like, oh, okay, they need to hurry up. In my head, I didn't want to say anything. They were preparing anything, and then they were like, well, like, if you need to push, just tell me, and all these stuff. His head was already coming out, and I only did like 3 real huge pushes, he was out. I had small ones because they were like, okay, slow down, because I was pushing too much or something. But I did feel some pain. I didn't really feel the burning sensation this time around, which I'm glad. But I felt his head move. Like, this was like legit the first time I felt that. Even with my first son, I didn't really feel his head. But this time, it was weird. So they were just like, slow down, and I just pushed, and my last push, like, I was just like, I felt his head pop out the second hard push, and then the third push he was out, and they were like, whoa, you did a good job. And then they suctioned him and put it on my chest and everything, and I was bawling like crazy because this kid made me super emotional. And my husband was just like, oh wow, this is fast. Literally, I feel like I only pushed for like 5, close to 10 minutes. That's it. That was like the shortest push I've ever done in my entire life because it went by so fast. And everything is great. So the thing was, like, since I have not eaten all day, I was starving, and when I wanted to eat again, I felt like vomiting, and I was so nauseous and everything. So everything afterwards, it was kind of like, I'm so tired. But my midwife was like, oh, see, he's here, and before I left too. And I was like, yeah, I'm surprised he did come. So yeah, he came out to a wonderful 7 pounds 8 ounces. I'm pretty sure if I had stayed another week, him in my stomach for another week, he would have probably been an 8-pounder, and I'm glad he wasn't. But here's the little guy asleep. This is how he likes to sleep sometimes. And he is 8 weeks on Thursday. So that's my labor and delivery story. I know, kind of like around all over the place, but you know, it wasn't like much to it, you know. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy my story. Finally have him. Again, his name is Kyson, Kyson, and born on the 16th at 10:49 p.m. Little night baby. So yeah, other than that, I loved my nurses, except for like one of them. She kind of like didn't smile much, wasn't as friendly, but friendly a little bit. It was just kind of like she was like in between kind of thing. But I'm trying to film a next video will be my May Ipsy Glam bag that I just received. It might not be good quality, but I did use some products today to test it out. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. I'll catch you in another video. Please subscribe. And yeah, again, last shot of little man. Isn't he cute? He's starting to look more like daddy and his older brother. So bye everybody.